Once upon a time in a small town, a 12-year-old boy named Ricardo spent his summer days with his older cousin Mike. Mike, a veteran back from the Vietnam War, had stories that captivated Ricardo, drawing him in with tales of bravery and survival. But amidst the heroics, there were shadows, stories of loss and difficult choices that Mike had made. One afternoon, while sitting on the porch, Mike began to share a more serious story. He spoke of the weight of decisions made in the heat of conflict, the guilt that haunted him, and the lives irrevocably changed. Instead of being terrified, Ricardo felt a strange fascination. The allure of danger and the complexity of life's choices sparked something in him. A year later, the cousins met again. This time, Mike was in a darker place, struggling with his own demons. During a heated argument with his wife, things took a tragic turn, and in a moment of rage, Mike made a choice that forever altered their lives. Shocked and traumatized, Ricardo witnessed the chaos, but instead of being repulsed, he felt an unsettling curiosity about the darker aspects of human nature. As the years passed, Ricardo found himself increasingly drawn to the thrill of the forbidden. He began experimenting with drugs and fell into a cycle of petty crimes, searching for the excitement that echoed Mike's stories. He dropped out of school, seeking solace in a world that seemed to promise freedom, but only delivered turmoil. At 17, Ricardo got a job at a local hotel, a chance to turn his life around. However, the darkness within him remained. He began sneaking into guests' rooms, driven by desperation and thrill, but each act further pulled him away from the boy he once was. After a few years of this chaotic lifestyle, Ricardo moved to San Francisco, hoping for a fresh start. But instead of change, he sank deeper into addiction and neglect. His health deteriorated, and he found himself isolated and ashamed. One day, after a binge of drugs, he stumbled across an old photo of Mike in uniform, proudly smiling. It sparked a memory of the stories shared and the bond they had. For the first time in years, he felt the weight of his choices. The realization dawned on him that he was spiraling down a path that had no return. Determined to change, Ricardo sought help. He entered rehab and began the long journey of healing. It was grueling, filled with moments of doubt and temptation. But with each day, he remembered Mike's stories. Not just the dark ones, but the lessons of resilience, the importance of choices, and the possibility of redemption. As he rebuilt his life, Ricardo discovered a passion for helping others. He volunteered at youth centers, sharing his journey and encouraging others to avoid the pitfalls he had faced. He wanted to be a beacon of hope, transforming his past into a narrative of strength and recovery. Years later, Ricardo stood at a podium, addressing a group of young people, sharing his story not to glorify his past but to highlight the power of change. He spoke of Mike, the lessons learned, and the importance of making choices that lead to a brighter future. In that moment, Ricardo felt a sense of freedom. He had transformed his life, breaking the cycle of violence and despair. The road had been long and challenging, but he had finally found his way home.